Babygirl is a 2024 American erotic thriller film written, directed, and produced by Helena Ridgen. The film stars Nicole Kidman as a high-powered CEO who puts her career and family on the line when she begins an affair with a much younger intern, Harris Dickinson. Sophie Wilde and Antonio Banderas also star. Babygirl premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on August 30, 2024, where Kidman won the Volpe Cup for Best Actress 9, followed by a premiere at the 2024 Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2024, with a wide theatrical release by A24 on December 25, 2024. It received positive reviews and became a box office success, grossing $64.6 million on a $20 million budget. It was named one of the top 10 films of 2024 by the National Board of Review, where Kidman was also awarded the Best Actress prize. Plot: Romy Mathis, the CEO of a robotic process automation company in New York City, is dissatisfied with her sex life with her husband, theater director Jacob. On the way to work one day, she is almost attacked by a loose dog until a young man calms it down and returns it to its owner. He turns out to be Samuel, an intern at Romy's company who picks her as his mentor through the company's mentorship program. Samuel propositions Romy during a private meeting. She initially objects, but gives in and kisses him. Conflicted about the incident, the two later meet at a hotel. Romy expresses concern that she may be taking advantage of Samuel due to their power imbalance, but Samuel retorts that he is the one with the power, as he could get her fired with one phone call. The two have a sexual encounter with Samuel playing the role of a dominant partner, resulting in Romy having an intense orgasm, after which she sobs with deep conflict about her enjoyment of this experience. The two continue to meet at multiple rendezvous, their sexual affair gaining considerable intensity. Samuel continues to push boundaries. In one instance, he appears at Romy and Jacob's country home, ingratiating himself with the entire family under the pretense of returning a laptop Romy left at the office. Feeling disrespected, Romy lashes out at Samuel and orders him to never show up at her home again. In the ensuing argument, Samuel threatens to request a transfer to a different department, which Romy objects to, fearing she will be questioned about her role in his transfer request. As her stress continues to build, Romy eventually admits to Jacob that she has never experienced an orgasm with him. Desperate, Romy meets with Samuel to convince him to continue their affair. He agrees after she confirms her submission to him. Soon afterward, Samuel appears at her house uninvited again for her daughter's birthday party, having been brought by Esme, Romy's executive assistant who he is dating. Esme informs Romy that she knows about her affair with Samuel and implores her to end it, as she is one of the few high-ranking women in the company and needs to remain a respectable role model. Romy later confesses the affair to Jacob, but is dishonest about the nature of her and Samuel's relationship, instead describing it as a one-night stand with a stranger. She attempts to express her sexual needs to Jacob, but he is too distraught over her infidelity to listen. She retreats to their country house, where Jacob later arrives to find her talking with Samuel. A fight breaks out between Jacob and Samuel. After the fight winds down, Jacob says that female masochism is a mere neurosis or male construct, but Samuel calls this a dated idea, causing Jacob to suffer a panic attack. Samuel calms Jacob down with an embrace, then leaves. Encouraged by her teenage daughter Isabel, Romy decides to reconcile with Jacob. A board member informs Romy that Samuel has taken a new job in Japan. He asks if she had anything to do with Samuel leaving, implying that he knows about the affair, and invites her to his house. Disgusted, Romy firmly states that she is unafraid of him and orders him out. A while later, Romy and Jacob have rekindled their romance and sex life. At home, they reenact the type of rough sex that Samuel introduced to Romy, and she climaxes while imagining Samuel playing with the dog in the hotel room that both Romy and Samuel shared earlier in the film. Cast: Nicole Kidman as Romy Mathis, a CEO, Jacob's wife, Isabel, and Nora's mother, and Samuel's employer and lover. 10. Harris Dickinson as Samuel, Romy's intern and lover. 10. Antonio Banderas as Jacob Mathis, a theater director, Romy's husband, and Isabel and Nora's father. 10. Sophie Wilde as Esme Smith, Romy's assistant. 10. Esther McGregor as Isabel Mathis, Romy, and Jacob's daughter, and Nora's older sister. Vaughn Riley as Nora Mathis, Romy, and Jacob's daughter, and Isabel's younger sister. 11. Victor Slezak as Sebastian Missel, a board member. 11. Leslie Silva as Hazel, an executive. Gate Jansen as Hedda/Scarlett. Robert Farrier as Brack/Stephen. Bartley Booz as Tom. Anoop Desai as Robert. 11. Dolly Wells as therapist. Maxwell Whittington Cooper as Josh. 11. Production. Development. It was announced in November 2023 that David Hinojosa of 2AM was going to produce the project alongside Helena Ridgen of Man Up Films, with A24 financing the project. 12-13 Julia O, Zach Nutman, and Christine D'Souza Gelb of 2AM served as executive producers. 14 It was later revealed that Julia O would take on the producer role, contrary to earlier reports that she would serve as an executive producer. 15 In addition to her role as producer, Helena Ridgen directed the film from a screenplay she wrote. 16-17 The project marked Ridgen's second English-language feature film, both produced by A24. 18-19 The original plan was to make a summer movie, however, it was changed to Christmas due to the impact of the 2023 UGA strike and 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike on the film's schedule. 2021 The film's workplace dynamics were influenced by cinematic elements from Indecent Proposal and Basic Instinct. 22-23 The affair in the film was set in an American workplace because the stricter hierarchy and rules in the US compared to Europe was felt by the filmmaker to make such a relationship feel even more forbidden and taboo. 24. Ridgen was inspired to write the script after hearing about a woman who had never experienced an orgasm throughout her 25-year marriage. 25 She added that her interest in exploring women's relationships with their bodies was a key motivator for making this movie. 26-27 She also credited her passion for the erotic thrillers of the 1980s and 1990s, particularly those by directors Paul Verhoeven and Adrian Lyne, as the inspirational driving force behind her decision to make this film. 28-29 Lizzie Talbot was hired as the intimacy coordinator. 30. The film features a significant 24-year age gap between its lead characters, with Romy written as 49 and Samuel as 25. Interestingly, the real-life age difference between Nicole Kidman, 56 during filming, and Harris Dickinson, 27, was even greater. 31 Ridgen emphasized the importance of normalizing age gaps in relationships, particularly when women are the older partners, stating, "It should completely be normalized that the age gaps switch and that women have different relationships. We're not trapped in a box anymore." 32. Dickinson noted that the limited pre-filming interaction between him and Kidman ultimately benefited the project, as it allowed them to build trust and work together with kindness, enhancing the authenticity of their on-screen dynamic. 33. Kidman and Ridgen built a strong bond while preparing for the film in New York, fostering trust and openness. They worked closely, revising scenes and sharing personal stories, creating a collaborative, intimate environment. Kidman credits Ridgen's supportive approach for helping her embrace the emotional and physical vulnerability required for the role. 34. Casting. In November 2023, Kidman, Dickinson, Antonio Banderas, Sophie Wilde, and Jean Reno were announced as part of the cast. 35-36 other cast members included John Cena Diempo, Vaughn Riley, Victor Slezak, Anoop Desai, and Maxwell Whittington Cooper. 11 Esther McGregor was reported to star. 37. Filming. Principal photography began in December 2023 in New York City 38-39 and wrapped in February 2024. 40. Music. Further information, Babygirl, soundtrack. On December 2, 2024, Sky Ferreira announced the release of Leash, a song written and co-produced by her for the soundtrack of the film. 41 The film score was composed by Cristobal Tapia de Veer and was released digitally on December 25, 2024, through A24 Music. 42-43. The film features INXS's 1988 single Never Tear Us Apart. A24 struggled to secure the rights to the track, which Regin complained about to Kidman, who personally secured the rights within a couple of days. 44. Release. Theatrical. Writer and director Helena Regin during the presentation of the film at the Venice International Film Festival. Babygirl premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on August 30, 2024. 45, 46, 47. Following this, it was also premiered at the 49th Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2024. 48. The film was initially set for a release in the United States and Canada on December 20, 2024. 49. But the date was later shifted to December 25, 2024, for its theatrical debut. 50-51. Home media. Babygirl was released in the United States on VOD on January 28, 2025. 52-53. The film was released on Max on April 25, 2025. 54. The movie was released on Blu-ray and 4K from A24 on March 18, 2025. 55. Reception. Box office. Babygirl has grossed $28.1 million in the United States and Canada, and $36.4 million in other territories, for a total of $64.6 million worldwide. 7-8. The film's break-even point was reported around $50 million. 5. In the United States and Canada, Babygirl was released alongside Nosferatu, A Complete Unknown, and The Fire Inside, and was projected to gross around $7 million from 2,115 theaters in its 5-day opening weekend. 56. The film made $1.5 million on its first day and then $1.3 million on its second. It went on to debut to $4.4 million in its opening weekend, and a total of $7.3 million over the 5 days, finishing in 7th. 57. It then made $1.4 million on the first day of 2025, for a total of $10.5 million over its first 8 days of release. 58. The film enjoyed a stronghold in its second weekend, dropping just 0.5% to $4.5 million. 59-60. It fell by 31% and earned $3.1 million, finishing 8th in its third weekend with a reduction in theaters. 61-62. The film dropped only 36% and earned a solid $1.9 million, finishing 11th in the fourth weekend despite losing 427 theaters and playing across just 1,460 theaters. In the UK and Ireland, where the film was released on January 10, 2025, it made $5.1 million from January 3 to February 6, 2025, and placed 8th. 63. The film achieved strong performance in international markets, with notable success in countries such as Ukraine, the Netherlands, Denmark, Poland, Romania, France, Spain, Belgium, and Luxembourg. 64. Home media performance. In its debut week on PVOD in the US, the film was the top rented title, placing 3rd on iTunes and 6th on Fandango. 65. It placed 8th on iTunes for the second week. 66. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 76% of 257 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.9/10. The website's consensus reads, Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson memorably smolder together in Babygirl, with writer-director Helena Regin's clinical gaze keeping this sexually frank thriller more provocative than prurient. 67. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 79 out of 100, based on 55 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 68 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B, on an A+ to F scale, while those surveyed by PostTrack gave it a 67% overall positive score, with 38% saying they would definitely recommend it. 57. Michelle Goldberg of the New York Times observed that on the cusp of our terrible new era, it felt, for all its darkness and perversity, like an artifact of a more optimistic moment, when equality seemed close enough at hand that the orgasm gap between men and women, something the movie's director, Helena Ridgen, often talks about in interviews, could be a subject of serious concern. 69. Damon Wise of Deadline Hollywood praised the performance of Kidman as she really goes the distance, imbuing Romy with a psychological vulnerability that is missing from the film. It most obviously sounds like 50 Shades of Grey, and presenting a unique reversal of the film. It most obviously looks like Secretary. He also mentioned Dickinson's performance as an inspired piece of casting, manifesting like a monster from the ID with his dorky, knife and fork haircut and clothes that he appears to have put on with a shovel. 70. Nicholas Barber of the BBC lauded Ridgen's gritty, indie-style direction in Babygirl, highlighting how she avoids the usual Hollywood neo-noir gloss, choosing instead to expose the raw, unpolished truth behind moments like the intern's arrival at the family's retreat or the co-worker's discovery of the affair. Barber also praised Kidman for delivering a bold and captivating performance, describing it as one of her most daring and impactful in years. 71. David Rooney of The Hollywood Reporter called out the film as sexy, dark, and unpredictable and praised the cast's performance. He mentioned Dickinson was a magnetic screen presence, Kidman was in spectacular form, swinging from outrage to fear to ravenously lustful consent, wild brought sly notes of humor. 72. Richard Lawson of Vanity Fair praised the overall film as Ridgen creates the sense that we are watching test subjects through a two-way mirror. This doesn't necessarily make the proceedings any less interesting, but one does maybe crave a bit more heat from a movie that is so willing to tackle intimate matters. 73. In a more critical review, Zan Brooks of The Guardian stated, "For all its excited carnality and seizing power struggles, the film's thrills feel machine-tooled and vacuum-packed. Babygirl rolls off the track looking almost as neat and anonymous as a box from Tencel's, the fictional tech company upstate delivery warehouse." However, he commended Kidman's bright, bold performance as it carries a top note of distress, as though she is not entirely convinced by everything she's signed up for. 74. In contrast, Owen Gleiberman of Variety praised the overall film as a shrewdly honest and entertaining movie about a flagrantly wrong sadomasochistic affair, and he termed Kidman's performance fearless. 75. He later concluded that Kidman had the best performance by a female actor in 2024. 76. Robbie Collin of The Telegraph praised the film, noting that it is sharp enough, and hot enough. He highlighted Nicole Kidman's performance as ferociously good, convincing utterly as this formerly level-headed careerist whose deeply buried, long-denied appetites are simultaneously proving her making and downfall. 77. Alison Wilmore of Vulture described the film as a self-love story, emphasizing that part of its message is about the importance of allowing oneself to be vulnerable and to let yourself be small for a while. 78. Glenn Kenny of RoachRebert.com praised Kidman's performance, but the film itself did not convince him. Kidman has garnered kudos for an uninhibited and daring performance, but when has she ever shied away from uninhibited and daring performances? I love to see them always, but I love to see them even more in good movies. 79. Kevin Marr of The Times mentioned that, like the best BDSM experiences, they say, is slightly contrived but very satisfying. 80. Radhika Seth of Vogue acknowledged that the film is not for everyone, dividing critics and even premiere attendees. However, she praised Antonio Banderas, Nicole Kidman, Helena Ridgen, and Cristobal Tapia de Veer for their standout contributions to the film. 81 Ben Krall of the Wrap said that despite hints at deeper themes and narratives, the film stands out for its surprising absence of cynicism. 82 Martin Tsai of Collider noted that while the film does elicit some laughs, whether intentional or not, it ultimately feels more demeaning for Nicole Kidman than Dogville. He pointed out that Catherine Breillat had already addressed similar themes more skillfully in Last Summer, and criticized Ridgen for lacking the nuance needed to elevate the film into something more meaningful. 83. Stephanie Zacharek of Time called out that this was one of Kidman's finest performances in a long career of more than 40 years. 84 While Carla Meyer of Los Angeles Times considered Kidman's performance Oscar-worthy. 85 concurred with that. Peter Travers of ABC News mentioned that Kidman's daring is now the stuff of legend. 86 Nick Shager of the Daily Beast mentioned that the film featured a standout performance from Kidman as a woman on a daring quest for self-discovery and fulfillment, and delivered a bold and entertaining cinematic jolt. 87 Richard Roper of Chicago Sun-Times praised Banderas' performance as he served as a steady presence, with a standout moment later in the story showcasing his formidable acting prowess. 88. Filmmaker John Waters named it as one of his favorite films of 2024, giving particular praise to Kidman's performance. Nicole Mary Kidman, born June 20, 1967, is an Australian and American actress and producer. Known for her work in film and television productions across many genres, she has consistently ranked among the world's highest-paid actresses since the late 1990s. Her accolades include an Academy Award, 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, a British Academy Film Award, and 6 Golden Globe Awards. Kidman began her career in Australia with the 1983 films Bush Christmas and BMX Bandits. Her breakthrough came with lead roles in Dead Calm and the miniseries Bangkok Hilton, both 1989. She came to international prominence with a supporting role in Days of Thunder, 1990, followed by leading roles in Far and Away, 1992, To Die For, 1995, Batman Forever, 1995, Practical Magic, 1998, and Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. She received consecutive nominations for the Academy Award for Best Actress for Moulin Rouge! 2001, and The Hours, 2002, winning for her portrayal of Virginia Woolf in the latter. Her career continued with the box office successes The Others, 2001, Cold Mountain, 2003, The Golden Compass, 2007, Australia, 2008, and Paddington, 2014, and acclaimed independent films Rabbit Hole, 2010, and Lion, 2016. For producing and starring in the HBO series Big Little Lies, 2017 to 2019, Kidman won a Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Limited Series and Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series or Movie. She went on to star in further mainstream films such as the biographical dramas Bombshell, 2019, and Being the Ricardos, 2021, and independent films The Killing of a Sacred Deer, 2017, The Beguiled, 2017, The Northman, 2022, and Babygirl, 2024, winning the Volpe Cup for Best Actress for her performance in the latter. Her other notable roles include the television series Hemingway and Gellhorn, 2012, Top of the Lake, China Girl, 2017, The Undoing, 2020, 9 Perfect Strangers, 2021, Present, Special Ops, Lioness, 2023, Expats, 2024, and The Perfect Couple, 2024. Kidman has served as a Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF since 1994 and UN Women since 2006. She was appointed Companion of the Order of Australia in 2006. Divorced from actor Tom Cruise and married to country musician Keith Urban, she has 2 children from each relationship. In 2010, she founded the production company Blossom Films. Kidman has been recognized for her work with female directors in recent years. In 2004 and 2018, Time included her on its list of the 100 most influential people in the world, and in 2020, the New York Times named her one of the greatest actors of the 21st century. She was also honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2003, and in 2024, became the first Australian actor to receive the AFI Life Achievement Award. 3-4. Early life. Nicole Mary Kidman was born on June 20, 1967 in Honolulu, Hawaii 5-6 while her Australian parents were temporarily in the United States on student visas. 7 Her mother, Janelle N. née Glennie, 8-9 a nursing instructor and member of the Women's Electoral Lobby, edited her husband's books. Her father, Anthony Kidman, was a biochemist, clinical psychologist, and author. 10 She has a younger sister, Antonia, who is a journalist and television presenter. 11 Having been born in the US to Australian parents, Kidman holds dual Australian and US citizenship. 12-13 She has English, Irish, and Scottish ancestry. 14-15 Being born in Hawaii, she was given the Hawaiian name Hokulani, meaning heavenly star. The inspiration came from a baby elephant born around the same time at the Honolulu Zoo. 16. When Kidman was born, her father was a graduate student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. He became a visiting fellow at the National Institute of Mental Health. While living in Washington, D.C., following Kidman's birth during the Vietnam War, her parents participated in anti-Vietnam War protests. 17 Her family eventually returned to Australia 3 years later. 18 She grew up in Longville, Sydney where she attended Lane Cove Public School and North Sydney Girls High School. She was enrolled in ballet at the age of 3 and showed her natural talent for acting during her primary and high school years. 19. Kidman has said she first aspired to become an actress upon watching Margaret Hamilton's performance as the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. 20 She revealed that she was timid as a child, saying, "I am very shy, really shy, I even had a stutter as a kid, which I slowly got over, but I still regress into that shyness. So I don't like walking into a crowded restaurant by myself, I don't like going to a party by myself." 21. During her teenage years, she attended the Phillip Street Theatre, alongside fellow actress Naomi Watts, and the Australian Theatre for Young People, where she took up drama and mime as she found acting to be a refuge. Owing to her fair skin and naturally red hair, the sun drove her to rehearse in the halls of the theatre. 19 A regular at the Phillip Street Theatre, she was encouraged to pursue acting full-time, which she did by dropping out of high school. 14-18. Career. Early work and breakthrough, 1983 to 1994. In 1983, 16-year-old Kidman made her film debut in a remake of the Australian holiday classic Bush Christmas. 14 By the end of that year, she had a supporting role in the television series 5 Mile Creek. In 1984, her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which caused Kidman to halt her acting work temporarily while she studied massage therapy to help her mother with physical therapy. 22 She began gaining recognition during this decade after appearing in several Australian films, such as the action comedy BMX Bandits, 1983, and the romantic comedy Wind Rider, 1986. 23 Throughout the rest of the 1980s, she appeared in various Australian television programs, including the 1987 miniseries Vietnam, for which she won her first Australian Film Institute Award. 24. Kidman next appeared in the Australian film Emerald City, 1988, based on the play of the same name, which earned her a second Australian Film Institute Award. She then starred alongside Sam Neill in the 1989 thriller Dead Calm as Ray Ingram, the wife of a naval officer who is menaced by a castaway at sea, played by Billy Zane. The film proved to be her breakthrough role, one of the first films for which she gained international recognition. 25 Regarding her performance, Variety commented how throughout the film, Kidman is excellent. She gives the character of Ray real tenacity and energy. 26. Meanwhile, critic Roger Ebert noted the excellent chemistry between the leads, stating, "Kidman and Zayn do generate real, palpable hatred in their scenes together." 27. She followed that up with the Australian miniseries Bangkok Hilton before moving on to star alongside her then boyfriend and future ex-husband, Tom Cruise, in the 1990 sports action film Days of Thunder, as a young doctor who falls in love with a NASCAR driver. It was considered her international breakout film and was among the year's highest-grossing films. 28. In 1991, Kidman co-starred alongside Thandai Newton and former classmate Naomi Watts in the Australian independent film Flirting. 29. They portrayed high school girls in this coming-of-age story, which won the Australian Film Institute Award for Best Film. 30. That same year, her work in the film Billy Bathgate earned Kidman her first Golden Globe Award nomination, for Best Supporting Actress. The New York Times, in its film review, called her a beauty with, it seems, a sense of humor. 31. The following year, she and Cruise re-teamed for Ron Howard's Irish epic Far and Away, 1992, which was a modest critical and commercial success. 32. 33. 34. In 1993, she starred in the thriller Malice, opposite Alec Baldwin, and the drama My Life, opposite Michael Keaton. 35. 36. Critical acclaim and worldwide recognition, 1995 to 2003. In 1995, Kidman played Dr. Chase Meridian, the damsel in distress, in the superhero film Batman Forever, opposite Val Kilmer as the film's title character. That same year, she starred in Gus Van Sant's critically acclaimed dark comedy To Die For, in which she played the murderous newscaster Suzanne Stone. Regarding her performance, Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle said she brings to the role layers of meaning, intention, and impulse. Telling her story in close-up, as she does throughout the film, Kidman lets you see the calculation, the wheels turning, the transparent efforts to charm that succeed in charming all the same. 37. For her performance in the film, she received the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. In the following years, she appeared alongside Barbara Hershey and John Malkovich in The Portrait of a Lady, 1996, based on the novel of the same name, and starred in The Peacemaker, 1997, as nuclear expert Dr. Julia Kelly, opposite George Clooney. The latter film grossed $110 million worldwide. 38-39. In 1998, she starred alongside Sandra Bullock in the romantic comedy Practical Magic as two witch sisters who face a threatening curse that prevents them from finding lasting love. While the film opened at the top of the charts during its North American opening weekend, it was a commercial failure at the box office. 40-41. She returned to the stage that same year for the David Hare play The Blue Room, which opened in London. 42. For her performance, she received a Laurence Olivier Award nomination for Best Actress. 43. Kidman attending the premiere of Moulin Rouge at the 2001 Cannes Film Festival. In 1999, Kidman reunited with then-husband Tom Cruise to portray a couple on a sexual odyssey in Eyes Wide Shut, their third film together and the final film of director Stanley Kubrick. It was subject to censorship controversies due to the explicit nature of its sex scenes. 44. After a brief hiatus and a highly publicized divorce from Cruise. 45. Kidman returned to the screen to play a mail-order bride in the British-American drama Birthday Girl. 46. In 2001, she took on the role of cabaret actress and courtesan Satin in Baz Luhrmann's musical Moulin Rouge, opposite Ewan McGregor. Her performance and her singing received positive reviews. Paul Clinton of CNN called it her best work since To Die For, and wrote she is smoldering and stunning as Satin. She moves with total confidence throughout the film. Kidman seems to specialize in Ice Queen characters, but with Satin, she allows herself to thaw, just a bit. 47. She subsequently received her second Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, among several other awards and nominations, including her first nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress. 48-49. Also in 2001, Kidman starred in Alejandro Amenabar's psychological horror film The Others, 2001, as Grace Stewart, a mother living in the Channel Islands during World War II who suspects her house is haunted. Grossing over $210 million worldwide, her performance earned her several award nominations, including a Goya Award nomination for Best Actress, in addition to receiving her second BAFTA Award and fifth Golden Globe Award nominations. 50-51 Roger Ebert commented that Alejandro Amenabar has the patience to create a languorous, dreamy atmosphere, and Nicole Kidman succeeds in convincing us that she is a normal person in a disturbing situation, and not just a standard-issue horror movie hysteric. 52. A.O. Scott of the New York Times highlighted Kidman's performance, writing that she embodies this unstable amalgam with a conviction that is in itself terrifying. The icy reserve that sometimes stands in the way of her expressive gifts here becomes the foundation of her most emotionally layered performance to date. 53. The following year, Kidman garnered critical acclaim for her portrayal of Virginia Woolf in Stephen Daldry's The Hours, co-starring alongside Meryl Streep and Julianne Moore. Kidman wore prosthetics, which were applied to her nose, to portray the author during the 1920s in England, making her look almost unrecognizable. The film was a critical success, earning several awards and nominations, including a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Picture. The New York Times wrote that Ms. Kidman, in a performance of astounding bravery, evokes the savage inner war waged by a brilliant mind against a system of faulty wiring that transmits a searing, crazy static into her brain. 54. She won numerous critic and industry awards for her performance, including her first BAFTA Award, the Golden Globe Award, and the Academy Award for Best Actress, becoming the first Australian to win the award. 18. During her Oscars acceptance speech, she referenced the Iraq War, which was occurring at the time, when speaking about the importance of art, saying, "Why do you come to the Academy Awards when the world is in such turmoil? Because art is important. And because you believe in what you do and you want to honor that, and it is a tradition that needs to be upheld." 55. That same year, she was named the world's most beautiful person by People magazine. 56. Kidman attending the premiere of Dogville at the 2003 Cannes Film Festival. Following her Oscar win, Kidman appeared in 3 distinctly different films in 2003. The first of those, a leading role in director Lars von Trier's Dogville, was an experimental film set on a bare soundstage. Though the film divided critics in the United States, Kidman earned praise for her performance. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone stated, "Kidman gives the most emotionally bruising performance of her career in Dogville, a movie that never met a cliché it didn't stomp on." 57. The second film was an adaptation of Philip Roth's novel The Human Stain, opposite Anthony Hopkins. Her third film that year was Anthony Minghell's war drama Cold Mountain, where she starred opposite Jude Law and Renee Zellweger, playing Southerner Ada Monroe, a woman who falls in love with Law's character. They became separated by the American Civil War. Regarding her performance, Time magazine wrote, "Kidman takes strength from Ada's plight and grows steadily, literally luminous. Her sculptural pallor gives way to warm radiance in the firelight." 58. The film garnered several awards and nominations, most notably for the performances of the cast, with Kidman receiving her 6th Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actress. 59. Established actress, 2004 to 2009. In 2004, Kidman starred in the drama film Birth, which sparked controversy over a scene in which she shares a bath with her co-star Cameron Bright, then aged 10. During a press conference at the 61st Venice International Film Festival, she addressed the controversy, saying, "It wasn't that I wanted to make a film where I kiss a 10-year-old boy. I wanted to make a film where you understand love." 60. For her performance, she received her 7th Golden Globe nomination. That same year, she starred alongside Matthew Broderick, Bette Midler, Christopher Walken, and Glenn Close in the black comedy science fiction film The Stepford Wives, a remake of the 1975 film of the same name, directed by Frank Oz. The following year, she starred opposite Sean Penn in the Sidney Pollack thriller The Interpreter, playing UN translator Sylvia Broom, and starred alongside Will Ferrell in the romantic comedy Bewitched, based on the 1960s TV sitcom of the same name. While neither film performed well in the United States, both were international successes. 61-62 for the latter film, she and Ferrell earned the Razzie Award for Worst Screen Couple. 63. Kidman in 2006. In conjunction with her success within the film industry, Kidman became the face of the Chanel No. 5 perfume brand. She starred in a television and print ads campaign with Rodrigo Santoro, directed by Moulin Rouge. Director Baz Luhrmann, to promote the fragrance during the holiday seasons of 2004, 2005, 2006, and 2008. Number 5. The film, a 3-minute commercial produced for Chanel No. 5, made Kidman the record holder for the most money paid per minute to an actor after she reportedly earned $12 million for the 3-minute advert. 64. During this time, she was also featured as the 45th most powerful celebrity on Forbes' 2005 Celebrity 100 list. She reportedly earned $14.5 million between 2004 and 2005. On People magazine's list of 2005's highest-paid actresses, Kidman came in second behind Julia Roberts, with a $16 to $17 million per film price tag. 65. In 2006, Kidman portrayed photographer Diane Arbus in the biographical film Fur, opposite Robert Downey Jr., and lent her voice to the animated film Happy Feet, which grossed over $384 million worldwide, becoming her highest-grossing film at the time. 66. The following year, she starred in the science fiction film The Invasion, a remake of the 1956 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, directed by Oliver Hirschbiegel, and starred opposite Jennifer Jason Leigh and Jack Black in Noah Baumbach's comedy drama Margot at the Wedding, which earned her a Satellite Award nomination for Best Actress, Musical or Comedy. 67. Also in 2007, she starred as the main antagonist Marissa Coulter in the fantasy adventure film The Golden Compass, which grossed over $370 million worldwide, also becoming one of her highest-grossing films to date. 68. The following year, Kidman reunited with Moulin Rouge. Director Baz Luhrmann for the Australian period film Australia, 2008, set in the remote Northern Territory during the Japanese attack on Darwin during World War II. Starring opposite Hugh Jackman, she played an Englishwoman feeling overwhelmed by the continent. Though the film received mixed reviews from critics, 69, it turned out to be a box office success, grossing over $211 million worldwide against a budget of $130 million. 70. In 2009, she appeared in the Rob Marshall musical 9, portraying the muse Claudia Jensen, alongside an ensemble cast consisting of Daniel Day-Lewis, Marion Cotillard, Penelope Cruz, Judi Dench, Fergie, Kate Hudson and Sophia Loren. Kidman, whose screen time was brief in comparison to the other actresses, performed the musical number Unusual Way alongside Day-Lewis. The film received several Golden Globe Award and Academy Award nominations, with Kidman earning her 4th Screen Actors Guild Award nomination, as part of the Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture Award. 71. Biographical and Independent Films, 2010 to 2016. Kidman began the 2010s by producing and starring in the film adaptation of the Pulitzer Prize-winning play Rabbit Hole, alongside Aaron Eckhart. 72. Her performance as a grieving mother coping with the death of her son earned her critical acclaim, and she received nominations for the Academy Award, Golden Globe Award and Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actress. 73-74. The following year, she appeared with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston in Dennis Dugan's romantic comedy Just Go With It, as a trophy wife, and subsequently starred alongside Nicolas Cage in director Joel Schumacher's action thriller Trespass, with the stars playing a married couple taken hostage. 75-76. Kidman at the 2012 Trofest in Sydney, Australia. In 2012, Kidman starred alongside Clive Owen in the HBO film Hemingway and Gellhorn, which depicted the relationship between journalist couple Ernest Hemingway and Martha Gellhorn. 77. For her performance as Gellhorn, she received her first Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Miniseries or Movie. 78. That same year, she portrayed death row groupie Charlotte Bless in Lee Daniels' adaptation of the Pete Dexter novel, The Paperboy, 2012. 79-80. The film competed at the 2012 Cannes Film Festival, and Kidman's performance garnered her nominations for the Screen Actors Guild Award and the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actress, in addition to her second Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, her 10th nomination overall. Also in 2012, her audiobook recording of Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse was released through Audible. 81. The following year she starred as an unstable mother in Park Chan-wook's Stoker 82, which was released to positive reception and a Saturn Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. In April 2013, she was selected as a member of the main competition jury at the 2013 Cannes Film Festival. 83. In 2014, Kidman starred as the titular character in the biographical film Grace of Monaco, which chronicles the 1962 crisis in which Charles de Gaulle blockaded the tiny principality, angered by Monaco's status as a tax haven for wealthy French subjects, and Kelly's contemplative Hollywood return to star in Alfred Hitchcock's Marnie. Opening out of competition at the 2014 Cannes Film Festival, the film received largely negative reviews. 84. She also starred in two films with Colin Firth that year, the first being the British-Australian historical drama The Railway Man, in which she played an officer's wife. 85. Catherine Monk of the Montreal Gazette said of Kidman's performance, "It's a truly masterful piece of acting that transcends Teplitsky's store-bought framing, but it's Kidman who delivers the biggest surprise. For the first time since her eyebrows turned into solid marble arches, the Australian Oscar winner is truly terrific." 86. Her second film with Firth was the British thriller film Before I Go to Sleep, portraying a car crash survivor with brain damage. 87. Also in 2014, she appeared in the live-action animated comedy film Paddington as the film's main antagonist. 88. In 2015, Kidman starred in the drama Strang Erland, which opened at the 2015 Sundance Film Festival, and the Jason Bateman-directed The Family Fang, produced by Kidman's production company, Blossom Films, which premiered at the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival. 89. In her other 2015 film release, the biographical drama Queen of the Desert, she portrayed writer, traveler, political officer, administrator, and archaeologist Gertrude Bell. That same year, she played a district attorney, opposite Julia Roberts and Chiwetel Ejiofor, in the film Secret in Their Eyes, a remake of the 2009 Argentine film of the same name, both based on the novel La Pregunta de Sus Ojos by author Eduardo Sacheri. 90. After more than 15 years, she returned to the West End in the UK premiere of Photograph 51 at the Noel Coward Theatre. She starred as British scientist Rosalind Franklin, working for the discovery of the structure of DNA, in the production from September 5 to November 21, 2015, directed by Michael Grandage. The production was met with considerable praise from critics, particularly for Kidman, and her return to the West End was hailed a success. 91. For her performance, she won an Evening Standard Theatre Award and received a second Laurence Olivier Award nomination for Best Actress. 92-93. Kidman attending the premiere of Lion at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. In 2016's Lion, Kidman portrayed Sue, the adoptive mother of Saru Brearley, an Indian boy who was separated from his birth family, a role she felt connected to as she is the mother of adopted children. 94 She received positive reviews for her performance, in addition to her first nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, her fourth nomination overall, and her 11th Golden Globe Award nomination, among several others. Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times thought that Kidman gives a powerful and moving performance as Sarah's adoptive mother, who loves her son with every molecule of her being, but comes to understand his quest. It's as good as anything she's done in the last decade. 95. Budgeted at $12 million, Lion earned over $140 million globally. 96 She also gave a voice-over performance for the English version of the animated film The Guardian Brothers. 97. Television expansion and continued acclaim, 2017 to 2020. In 2017, Kidman returned to television for Big Little Lies, a drama series based on Liana Moriarty's novel of the same name, which premiered on HBO. She also served as executive producer alongside her co-star, Reese Witherspoon, and the show's director, Jean-Marc Vallée. She played Celeste Wright, a former lawyer and housewife, who conceals an abusive relationship with her husband, played by Alexander Skarsgård. Matthew Jacobs of the Huffington Post considered that she delivered a career-defining performance. 98 While Anne Hornaday of the Washington Post wrote that Kidman belongs in the pantheon of great actresses. 99 She won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series or Movie for her performance, as well as the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Limited Series as a producer. She also received the Screen Actors Guild Award, 2 Critics' Choice Television Awards and 2 Golden Globe Awards for her work in the show. 101. Kidman in 2017. Kidman next played Martha Farnsworth, the headmistress of an all-girls school during the American Civil War, in Sofia Coppola's drama The Beguiled, a remake of the 1971 film of the same name, which premiered at the 2017 Cannes Film Festival, competing for the Palme d'Or. 102 Both films were adaptations of a novel by Thomas P. Cullinan. The film was an Arthur's success, and Katie Walsh of the Tribune News Service found Kidman particularly, unsurprisingly excellent in her performance as the steely Miss Martha. She is controlled and in control, unflappable. Her genteel manners and femininity coexist easily with her toughness. 103. Kidman had 2 other films premiere at the festival, the science fiction romantic comedy How to Talk to Girls at Parties, reuniting her with director John Cameron Mitchell. 104 105 and the psychological thriller The Killing of a Sacred Deer, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, which also competed for the Palme d'Or. 104 105 Also in 2017, she played supporting roles in the BBC Two television series Top of the Lake, China Girl, and in the comedy drama The Upside, a remake of the 2011 French comedy The Intouchables, starring Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. 106. In 2018, Kidman starred in 2 dramas, Destroyer and Boy Erased. In the former, she played a detective troubled by a case for 2 decades. Peter DeBrugge of Variety and Brooke Marine of W both found her unrecognizable in the role, and DeBrugge added that she disappears into an entirely new skin, rearranging her insides to fit the character's tough hide. 107 Whereas Marine highlighted Kidman's method acting. 108 The latter film is based on Gerard Conley's Boy Erased, a memoir, and features Russell Crowe and Kidman as socially conservative parents who send their son, played by Lucas Hedges, to a gay conversion program. Richard Lawson of Vanity Fair credited all 3 performers for elevating the fairly standard issue material to poignant highs. 109 That same year, Kidman took on the role of Queen Atlanna, the mother of the title character, in the DC Extended Universe superhero film Aquaman, which grossed over $1.1 billion worldwide, becoming her highest-grossing film to date. 110 111 Also in 2018, she was interviewed for a BAFTA event A Life in Pictures, where she reflected on her extensive film career. 112. Forbes ranked her as the fourth highest paid actress in the world in 2019, with an annual income of $34 million. 113 Kidman kicked off 2019 by reprising her role in the second season of the hit series Big Little Lies, which premiered in June. 114 The second season not only drew a larger audience than the first but also became the most watched night of viewing for an HBO original series that year. 115 In September 2019, she took on the supporting part of a rich socialite in John Crowley's drama The Goldfinch, an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Donna Tartt, starring Ansel Elgort. 116 Although it was poorly received, Owen Gleiberman commended Kidman for playing her part with elegant affection. 118 She next co-starred alongside Charlize Theron and Margot Robbie in the drama Bombshell, a film depicting the scandal concerning the sexual harassment accusations against former Fox News CEO Roger Ailes, in which she portrayed journalist Gretchen Carlson. 119 Manala Dargis of the New York Times opined that despite lesser screen time than her two co-protagonists, Kidman successfully made Carlson ever so slightly ridiculous, adding a sharp sliver of comedy that underscores how self-serving and futile her rebellious gestures at the network are. 120 For her performance, she received an additional Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role. 121. Kidman with the cast of Aquaman, 2018. Kidman started off the 2020s with her role of Grace Fraser, a successful New York therapist, in the HBO psychological thriller miniseries The Undoing, based on the novel You Should Have Known by Jean Hanff-Korelitz. 123 She served as executive producer alongside the show's director, Suzanne Bier, and David E. Kelley, who previously adapted and produced Big Little Lies. Throughout its season, the series gained increasing momentum and broke records. HBO celebrated a historic achievement as the show became the network's first original series to increase its viewership consistently week by week. The finale marked the most watched night on HBO since the season 2 finale of Big Little Lies. 124 Furthermore, the series surpassed Big Little Lies to become HBO's most watched show of 2020 based on audience numbers. 125 For her performance, she received additional Golden Globe Award and Screen Actors Guild Award nominations. 127 Her only film release of 2020 was the musical comedy The Prom, based on the Broadway musical of the same name, starring alongside Meryl Streep, James Corden, and Keegan-Michael Key. 128. Television and Independent Films, 2021, present. In August 2021, she starred and served as executive producer on the Hulu drama series 9 Perfect Strangers, based on the novel of the same name by Liana Moriarty. 130 Despite receiving mixed reviews, it was reported that the premiere of the show became the most watched Hulu original on its premiere day and continued to hold that title after 5 days on the service. 131 That same year, she portrayed actress-comedian Lucille Ball alongside Javier Bardem as Ball's husband, Desi Arnaz, in the biographical drama Being the Ricardos, directed by Aaron Sorkin. 133 Despite unfavorable reactions in response to her casting as Ball, 134 her portrayal was met with critical acclaim. 135 136 137 She subsequently won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Drama for her performance. 138 In addition to receiving nominations for the Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Actress and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role, as well as her 4th Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, her 5th nomination overall. 139 141 In September 2021, Kidman starred in a commercial for AMC Theaters entitled We Make Movies Better, which would play before every film in the theaters owned by the chain beginning that month, and Kidman's sponsorship was later extended for another year in August 2022. 142-143 The commercial and Kidman's delivery of her speech proved popular with audiences who viewed it as a way to drive moviegoers back to seeing films theatrically in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. 144 AMC CEO Adam Aron described Kidman's viral ad as iconic and revered during a 2022 earnings call, and CNN reported that the ad has inspired memes, homages, and debate and became a cultural thing. 145-146. Kidman at TIFF in 2019. In April 2022, Kidman appeared in an episode of the anthology series Roar, based on Cecilia Ahern's 2018 short story collection, in addition to serving as executive producer. 147 The miniseries attracted mixed attention due to its unconventional and controversial feminist themes. 148-149 That same month, she starred alongside her Big Little Lies co-star Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, and Willem Dafoe in the historical drama The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. 150 The film was received with widespread acclaim upon its release. 151-152. In 2023, Kidman began starring in the Paramount Plus television series Special Ops, Lioness, on which she also serves as an executive producer. 153 The miniseries received mixed attention upon release, and reviewer Anita Singh of The Telegraph criticized the one thing that lets the show down is Nicole Kidman as a CIA boss, whose frozen face these days is a total distraction. 154-155 Initially, reviewer Mike Hale, writing for The New York Times, remarked that the show resembled many other counter-terrorism thrillers, noting its visceral action and somewhat artificial setting in the first episode. However, upon further reflection, he found that the show evolved into a moody, suspenseful, and intricately crafted genre piece with compelling characters. 156-157 In December 2023, Kidman reprised the role of Queen Atlanna in the sequel to the 2018 superhero film Aquaman, titled Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. 158-159. Forbes ranked her as the highest paid actress in the world in 2024, with an annual income of $31 million. 160 In January 2024, Kidman starred in and served as executive producer of the drama television series Expats. 161 Her performance garnered mixed reviews from critics. 162-163 In June 2024, she reunited with The Paperboy co-star Zac Efron in Netflix's A Family Affair. 164-165 Although it received mixed reviews from critics, the film was well received by audiences. 166-167 It achieved the #1 spot among Netflix originals during its first weekend and maintained a strong position at #2 on the second weekend of its release. 168-169 Kidman portrayed a high-ranking CEO in the A24 erotic thriller Babygirl, written and directed by Helena Ridgen. 170 Robbie Collin of The Telegraph highlighted Kidman's work as ferociously good, convincing utterly as this formerly level-headed careerist whose deeply buried, long-denied appetites are simultaneously proving her making and downfall. 171. For her performance, she received the Volpe Cup for Best Actress at the 81st Venice International Film Festival. Kidman was absent from the ceremony due to the death of her mother. 172 She was also nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Drama 173 and subsequently earned her first Best Actress win at National Board of Review Awards for her performance. 174. In September 2024, Kidman starred in, and served as executive producer on the Netflix series The Perfect Couple, based on Ellen Hilderbrand's novel. 175 The series received mixed reviews from critics, with many reviews criticizing Kidman for her constantly repeating herself. 176-177 However, it became Netflix's global hit, leading the charts for 2 consecutive weeks, 178-179, before dropping but still maintaining strong positions for the following weeks. 180. In October 2024, Kidman starred in the second season of the television series Lioness, on which she earned a nomination for Critics' Choice Television Award for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series and was executive producer. 181. 182. In November 2024, Kidman was voiced Queen Ellesmere in the animated fantasy film Spellbound. 183. The film received mixed reviews, mainly for its subject matter. However, it managed to place number 3 and number 2 position in Netflix's top series for the first and second week since its release. 184. In March 2025, Kidman portrayed Nancy, a teacher in Amazon's Holland, directed by Mimi Cave, and executive produced The Last Anniversary, adapted from Liana Moriarty's novel. 185. 186. Kidman is also set to star in, and serve as executive producer on, numerous projects, including an Amazon Prime Video Scarpetta series based on Patricia Cornwell's K. Scarpetta novels and the Apple TV Plus series Margot's Got Money Troubles. 187. 188. Reception and legacy. Kidman is often regarded to be among the finest actresses of her generation. 189. 190. She is also considered one of Hollywood's bravest performers. 191. She has been noted for seeking eccentric roles in risky projects helmed by auteurs, as well as for her volatile performances and versatile work, having appeared in a variety of eclectic films from several genres throughout her extensive career spanning nearly 4 decades. 192. 152. 193. Vanity Fair stated that, despite struggling with her personal life being publicly scrutinized by the media during the early years of her career, Kidman has shown herself to be a major talent, a remarkable actress who can get in there with the best of them, go toe-to-toe, and come out with her credibility intact. What's more, she's proved herself to be a star with a capital S, the one in a generation kind who, like Elizabeth Taylor, is bigger than the Hollywood system, and is also unafraid to be human and real, which only makes her more popular. 194. According to the New York Times, the plucky, disciplined indomitability she brings to her performances, even more than the artistry she displays within them, may be the secret of her appeal, the source of her bond with the audience. 195. Emily Nussbaum of The New Yorker commented how in each role, there is something waxen and watchful and self-possessed about Kidman, so that, even when she's smiling, she never seems liberated. While other actors specialize in transparency, Kidman has a different gift. She can wear a mask and simultaneously let you feel what it's like to hide behind it. 196. Kidman's most remarkable accomplishment lies in her ability to consistently deliver surprising performances, often standing out as the highlight even in otherwise lackluster projects. She remains a captivating figure, sparking more conversation and strong opinions than nearly anyone else in the industry. 197. 198. Leela Latif of The Guardian commented that Kidman continuously proved again and again why she is one of Hollywood's best and subtly most transgressive stars. 199. In 2004 and 2018, Time magazine named Kidman one of the 100 most influential people in the world on their annual Time 100 list. 201 in 2020, The New York Times ranked her 5th on its list of the greatest actors of the 21st century 202, and in a 2022 readers' poll by Empire magazine, she was voted one of the 50 greatest actors of all time. 203 in 2025, Kidman was named one of the Women of the Year of Time magazine. 204. I'm a character actor. I was trained as a character actor. That's what I want to do. I believe in changing the way you look, the way you move, the way you speak. I'm not great at playing myself, so what really gives me the greatest satisfaction is changing into something else. Kidman on her approach to acting. 205. Kidman continues to defy age-related stereotypes in Hollywood, thriving in an industry often criticized for its challenges for women over 50. Her ability to secure leading roles and produce compelling work highlights her resilience and determination, proving that age is no barrier to success in her career. Kidman's journey inspires, challenging the industry's norms and paving the way for other women in Hollywood. 206. 207. Kidman is known to practice method acting for many of her roles. 208. It has been noted that she oftentimes transforms herself physically, mentally, and emotionally to resemble her characters. 209. 210. To the point where it has adversely affected her health. 211. Mark Caro from the Los Angeles Times stated that to Nicole Kidman, acting isn't a mere technical feat, it's the art of transformation. To hear her tell it, the change can be as dramatic as a caterpillar into butterfly metamorphosis. She'll be working and working to get under the skin of a character. 212. W described her as a cipher, and pointed out how she gets under her character's skin so thoroughly, it's nearly impossible to distinguish the actress from the role. It's why she has become so synonymous with a few key roles, and why those films are so defined by Kidman's presence in them. 213. Scholars have also commented on her acting style and approach to roles. Sharon Marie Karnick, a professor of critical studies and acting at the USC School of Dramatic Arts, mentioned that Kidman's acting choices are believable and natural as reactions to the specific circumstances in her world, and described her work as kinetic. 214. Dennis Bingham, a professor of English and director of film studies at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, stated that Kidman acts always a step or two outside the character, telegraphing her reactions, elongating the time she takes to articulate her decisions and conclusions. Even her emotional responses are presented as signs. 215. Pam Cook, a professor of film at the University of Southampton, suggests in her biography of Kidman that her emphasis on artifice and technique points to a conception of screen acting that looks to cinematic expression rather than to the actor's body and intentions for the realization of character. 216. Mary Luckhurst, a professor and head of the University of Bristol School of Arts with credentials in theatre and performance, stated how she has strategically pursued a high-risk mutability and versatility, and regularly traverses between naturalist and non-naturalist roles and art forms. She continues saying that she can continually test her own emotional limits, physical skills, politics, values, and frames of reference, and mentions how her conception of character acting involves metamorphosing gradually into something that she feels is so other that she frequently speaks of losing herself or getting lost in the role, and her preparedness to challenge herself in this respect has continually surprised other actors, directors, and producers. 217. After nearly 4 decades in the industry and over 80 film and TV projects, Kidman emphasizes her acting approach, saying, "I still approach acting like I've just come out of drama school." 218. Arte France released a 53-minute documentary in 2023, Nicole Kidman, Eyes Wide Open. 219. Kidman has also been described as a fashion icon. 220. The chartreuse d'or gown she wore to the 1997 Academy Awards is regarded as one of the greatest dresses in Oscar history and has been credited with changing red carpet fashion forever. 221. Vogue described how from her embroidered chartreuse John Galliano for Christian Dior gown in 1997, at the side of then-husband Tom Cruise, to that impeccable red Balenciaga moment at the 2007 Oscars, to the unforgettable Calvin Klein ballerina dress she wore to the 2017 Cannes Film Festival, the Australian native has mastered the art of red carpet dressing, always piquing our interest and taking risks while never overdoing it. 222. Insider stated that over the years, Kidman has experimented with all sorts of trends, including bold colors, statement jewelry, and everything in between, making herself one of the most iconic celebrities when it comes to her fashion choices. 223. In 2003, she received the Fashion Icon Award, which was awarded to her by the Council of Fashion Designers of America. 220. Regarding her bestowal, Peter Arnold, executive director of the CFDA, said, "Nicole Kidman's style, both on and off the screen, has had an undeniable impact on fashion. As an actress, she has developed her many memorable characters with an innate understanding of the artistry of clothes. At the same time, she has elegantly established her personal style and own iconic presence worldwide." 224. Working with female filmmakers. In 2017, Kidman has pledged to collaborate with a female director every 18 months to address gender disparities in the film industry. 225, 226, 227, 228. This commitment has led to her involvement in numerous projects, including The Perfect Couple, where she portrays Greer Garrison Winberry, a role reminiscent of her previous characters in Big Little Lies and The Undoing. 229. Some critics argued that such choices resulted in repetitive portrayals, potentially diminishing the impact of her performances. 230, 231, 232. Though Kidman's recent roles often portray wealthy, sophisticated women, each character reveals unique emotional complexities. From hidden grief and buried secrets to self-sacrifice or the pursuit of personal desires, Kidman adds depth and nuance to these archetypes, demonstrating her range and versatility as an actress. 233. Despite criticisms, Kidman continues to support female filmmakers, contributing to increased representation in the industry and creating more jobs. 234, 235, 236, 237. In a February 2025 interview with Time, she reflected on her career, emphasizing the importance of humility, continuous learning, and taking risks in her craft. Kidman also highlighted her commitment to telling diverse stories and supporting female filmmakers, aiming to create more opportunities for women in the industry. Her efforts have elevated her career and inspired a new generation of talent, solidifying her legacy as both an artist and a trailblazer. 238, 239, 240, 241. Helena Ridgen, director of Babygirl, highlighted her experience with Kidman, stating, "She is one of the few people who practices what she preaches when it comes to feminism and empowering women." 242. Mimi Cave, director of Holland, reflected on working with Kidman, saying that she makes herself completely available to you as a director and praising her collaborative spirit. She added, "She's really incredible to watch and she's someone I've learned a great deal from. It was a pretty magnificent experience for me," underscoring Kidman's professionalism and the lasting impression she leaves on collaborators. 243. Lulu Wang, director of Expats, praised Kidman, stating, "Nicole, being able to support me, created this entire network and world of filmmakers, women, people of color who've never had the opportunity to be in this space." 244. Jamie Lee Curtis, Kidman's co-star in Scarpetta, shared that people work when Nicole works. "I'm working because Nicole is working." 238, 245. As of February 2025, Kidman has worked with 19 female directors, either in an acting or producing capacity, over the past 8 years to champion gender equality in Hollywood. 246, 247. Personal life, relationships and family. Kidman met actor Tom Cruise in 1989 while working on the set of Days of Thunder, a film in which both starred, and they married on Christmas Eve of 1990 in Colorado. 248, 249. While married, the couple adopted a daughter, Isabella, born 1992, and a son, Connor, born 1995. 250. On February 5, 2001, the couple's spokesperson announced their separation. 251. Cruise filed for divorce 2 days later, and their marriage was dissolved later that year, with Cruz citing irreconcilable differences. 252 In 2013, Kidman said their marriage failed because of her young age when they married. "I was a child, really, when I got married," she said. "And I needed to grow up." 253. In a 2007 interview with Marie Claire, Kidman noted the incorrect reporting of a miscarriage early in her marriage. "It was wrongly reported as miscarriage by everyone who picked up the story. So it's huge news, and it didn't happen. I had a miscarriage at the end of my marriage, but I had an ectopic pregnancy at the beginning of my marriage." 254. In the June 2006 issue of Ladies' Home Journal, Kidman said of Cruz, "He was huge, still is. To me, he was just Tom, but to everybody else, he is huge. But he was lovely to me and I loved him. I still love him." She expressed shock about the divorce. 252 In 2015, former Church of Scientology executive Mark Rathbun said in a documentary film that he was instructed to facilitate Cruz's breakup with Nicole Kidman. 255 Cruz's Scientology auditor said Kidman had been wiretapped on Cruz's suggestion. 256 In 2015, Kidman said her divorce from Cruz heightened public attention on her career. "Out of my divorce came work that was applauded, so that was an interesting thing for me." She received an Academy Award in 2003, shortly after her divorce. 257. Before marrying Cruz, Kidman had been in relationships with Australian actor Marcus Graham and Wind Rider co-star Tom Burlinson. 258 259 The film Cold Mountain brought rumors that an affair between Kidman and co-star Jude Law was responsible for the breakup of his marriage. Both denied the allegations, and Kidman won an undisclosed sum from the British tabloids that published the story. 260 She began dating musician Lenny Kravitz in 2003. According to Kidman, they were engaged before deciding to end their relationship. 261 262 263 However, they remain on good terms. Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz, later said that Kidman was a loving potential stepmother to her. 262 In 2003, she briefly dated a Tribe Called Quest rapper Q-Tip. 264 265. Kidman and her husband Keith Urban in 2011. In January 2005, Kidman met Australian-American country singer Keith Urban at G-Day LA, an event honoring Australians. 266 267 In May 2006, she revealed they were engaged. Kidman married Urban on June 25, 2006 at Cardinal Ceriti Memorial Chapel on the grounds of St. Patrick's Estate, Manly, in Sydney. 268 269 For their honeymoon, they went to French Polynesia. 267 In a 2015 interview, regarding her relationship with Urban, Kidman said, "We didn't really know each other, we got to know each other during our marriage." 257. Urban has credited Kidman for helping him overcome his struggles with alcohol addiction. 267 They maintain homes in Nashville, Tennessee, U.S., 270 Beverly Hills, California, U.S., 271 2 apartments in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, 272 a farmhouse in Sutton Forest, New South Wales, Australia, and an apartment in Manhattan, New York, U.S. 272 The couple's first daughter, Sunday Rose, was born in 2008, in Nashville. 273 274 In 2010, Kidman and Urban welcomed their second daughter, Faith Margaret, via gestational surrogacy. 275 At Nashville Centennial Women's Hospital. 276 277. Religious beliefs and political views. Kidman was brought up in a Catholic family and remains practicing. 278-279 She attended Mary Mackillop Memorial Chapel and Museum in North Sydney. Following criticism by Catholic leaders regarding her role in the Golden Compass as anti-Catholic 280-281 Kidman told Entertainment Weekly that the source material had been watered down a little and that her religious beliefs would prevent her from taking a role in a film she perceived as anti-Catholic. 282 Since her divorce from Tom Cruise, she has been reluctant to discuss Scientology. 283-284 A supporter of women's rights 285 Kidman testified before the United States House of Representatives Committee on Foreign Affairs to support the International Violence Against Women Act in 2009. 286 In January 2017, she stated her support for the legalization of same-sex marriage in Australia. 287 Kidman has also donated to U.S. Democratic Party candidates. 288 Net worth. Kidman has featured in annual rankings of the world's highest paid actors multiple times, including the leading place for a female actor in 2006. 289 In 2002, she first appeared on the Australian Financial Review Rich list, following her divorce from Tom Cruise, with an estimated net worth of $122 million. 290 As of May 2023, Kidman's net worth, listed jointly with Urban's, was assessed at $596 million by the Financial Review, after several years of not meeting the threshold for inclusion on the rich list. 291 In 2021 it was reported that Celebrity Net Worth had assessed Kidman's net worth, not including that of Urban's, at $250 million. 292 Nicole Kidman applied for Portuguese residency in July 2025 in order to buy a house in the luxury resort Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club in Melodies. 293 Nicole Kidman already purchased an apartment in Lisbon in 2023. 293 Philanthropy. Kidman, right, attending the International Center to End Violence with Nancy Pelosi, left, and Esta Solar, Center, in 2010. Kidman has raised money for, and drawn attention to, disadvantaged children around the world. In 1994, she was appointed a Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF. 294 She also joined the Little T campaign for breast cancer care to design t-shirts or vests to raise money to fight the disease. 295 Motivated by her mother's battle with breast cancer in 1984. 296 Kidman was also appointed Goodwill Ambassador of the United Nations Development Fund for Women, UNIFEM, in 2006. 297 294 She visited Kosovo in 2006 to learn about women's experiences of conflict and UNIFEM support efforts. 298 She is also the international spokesperson for UNIFEM Say No, Unite to End Violence Against Women initiative. 299 Kidman and the UNIFEM executive director presented over 5 million signatures collected during the first phase of this to the UN Secretary-General on November 25, 2008. 300 On January 8, 2010, alongside Nancy Pelosi, Joan Chen, and Joe Torre, Kidman attended the ceremony to help the Family Violence Prevention Fund break ground on a new international center located in the Presidio of San Francisco. 301 302 Kidman's Paddington Bear statue in Leicester Square, London, auctioned to raise funds for the NSPCC. In 2014, Kidman designed a gold-colored Paddington Bear statue, one of 50 located around London prior to the release of the film Paddington, which was auctioned to raise funds for the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, NSPCC. 303 In 2016, she donated $50,000 to UN Women. 304 Endorsement deals and ventures. Kidman has taken part in several endorsement deals representing various companies. 305 In 2003, she served as the face of the Chanel No. 5 perfume. 306 She has also served as an ambassador for Omega watches since 2005. 307 In 2007, Nintendo announced that she would be the new face of Nintendo's advertising campaign for the Nintendo DS game More Brain Training in its European market. 308 In 2010, Kidman starred in the inauguration campaign of the Brazilian mall Village Mall, owned by the company Multiplan, located in Barra de Tijuca, in Rio de Janeiro. 309 In 2013, she served as the face of Jimmy Choo Shoes. 310 In 2015, she became the brand ambassador for Etihad Airways. 311 In 2017, she was announced as the new face of Neutrogena. 312 In 2020, she joined Labs as their global brand ambassador. 313 In December 2023, she joined Balenciaga as their brand ambassador. 314 315. Kidman supports the Nashville Predators, being seen and photographed almost nightly throughout the season. 316 Additionally, she supports the Sydney Swans in the Australian Football League and once served as a club ambassador. 317. Acting credits and accolades. Main articles: Nicole Kidman on screen and stage and list of awards and nominations received by Nicole Kidman. Kidman at the 83rd Academy Awards in 2011. According to the review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes, which assigns film scores based on critic reviews and audience reception, some of Kidman's highest scoring films include Paddington, 2014, Flirting, 1990, To Die For, 1995, Rabbit Hole, 2010, Lion, 2016, The Others, 2001, The Family Fang, 2015, Dead Calm, 1989, Boy Erased, 2018, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, 2017, and The Northman, 2022. 318 Her most financially successful films include Aquaman, 2018, and its sequel Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, 2023, Happy Feet, 2006, The Golden Compass, 2008, Batman Forever, 1995, and Paddington, 2014, as listed by the box office tracking website The Numbers as her highest grossing films. 319 Her other screen credits include Eyes Wide Shut, 1999, Moulin Rouge, 2001, The Hours, 2002, Dogvalley, 2003, Cold Mountain, 2003, Birth, 2004, Australia, 2008, The Paperboy, 2012, The Beguiled, 2017, Destroyer, 2018, Bombshell, 2019, Being the Ricardos, 2021. Kidman has been recognized by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for the following: 74th Academy Awards, Best Actress, nomination, for Moulin Rouge, 2001. 75th Academy Awards, Best Actress, win, for The Hours, 2002. 83rd Academy Awards, Best Actress, nomination, for Rabbit Hole, 2010. 89th Academy Awards, Best Supporting Actress, nomination, for Lion, 2016. 94th Academy Awards, Best Actress, nomination, for Being the Ricardos, 2021. In 2003, Kidman received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for her achievements in the motion picture industry. 321 In addition to her Academy Award for Best Actress win, she has received many other awards and nominations for her performances on the screen and stage, including 4 additional Academy Award nominations, 1 BAFTA Award from 5 nominations, 2 Laurence Olivier Award nominations, 2 Primetime Emmy Awards from 3 nominations, a Screen Actors Guild Award from 15 nominations, 3 Critics' Choice Awards from 15 nominations and 6 Golden Globe Awards from 17 nominations, among various others. 322 43 93 Nicole Kidman was selected for the 49th AFI Life Achievement Award, originally scheduled to be received at Hollywood's Dolby Theatre on June 10, 2023, but was postponed to April 27, 2024 due to the August strike. 323 324 4. In 2004, Kidman was honored as a Citizen of the World by the United Nations. 325 During the 2006 Australia Day Honours, she was appointed Companion of the Order of Australia, AC, for service to the performing arts as an acclaimed motion picture performer, to healthcare through contributions to improve medical treatment for women and children and advocacy for cancer research, to youth as a principal supporter of young performing artists, and to humanitarian causes in Australia and internationally. 326 327 However, due to film commitments and her wedding to Urban, it was not until April 13, 2007 that she was presented with the honour. 328 It was presented by the Governor-General of Australia, Major General Michael Jeffrey, in a ceremony at Government House, Canberra. 329 At the beginning of 2009, Kidman appeared in a series of postage stamps featuring Australian actors. She, Geoffrey Rush, Russell Crowe, and Cate Blanchett each appeared twice in the series, once as themselves and once as their Academy Award-nominated characters, with Kidman appearing as Satin from Moulin Rouge. 330. Discography. Main article, Nicole Kidman Discography. Kidman's discography consists of several audio recordings, including one spoken word album, one extended play and 3 singles. 331 Kidman, primarily known for her acting career, entered the music industry during the early 2000s after recording a number of tracks for the original motion picture soundtrack to Baz Luhrmann's 2001 musical film Moulin Rouge, which she starred in. 332 Her duet with Ewan McGregor entitled Come What May was released as her debut single and the second single from the film's original soundtrack album through Interscope Records on September 24, 2001. The composition became the 8th highest-selling single by an Australian artist that year, 333 being certified gold by the Australian Recording Industry Association, 334 while peaking at number 27 on the UK singles chart. 335 In addition, the song received a Best Original Song nomination at the 59th Golden Globe Awards 336 and was listed at 85th within AFI's 100 Years, 100 Songs by the American Film Institute. 337. Something Stupid, a cover version of Frank and Nancy Sinatra's version, followed soon after. The track, recorded as a duet with English singer-songwriter Robbie Williams, was issued on December 14, 2001 by Chrysalis Records as the lead single off his 4th studio album, Swing When You're Winning. 338 Kidman's second single topped the official music charts in New Zealand, 339 Portugal, 340 and the UK, in addition to reaching top 10 placings all over Europe, including Austria 341, Belgium 342, Denmark 343, Germany 344, the Netherlands 345, Norway 346 and Switzerland 347 as well as Australia. Apart from being certified either gold 348 in a number of countries, it was ranked as the 13th best-selling single of 2002 in the UK, the 59th in Australia 349 and the 93rd in France 350 respectively. The song peaked at number 8 on the Australian ARINet singles chart and at number 1, for 3 weeks, in the UK. 351 Harris Dickinson, born June 24, 1996, is an English actor and filmmaker. He began his acting career in British television and had his first starring role in the drama film Beach Rats, 2017, for which he was nominated for the Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead. He played John Paul Getty III in the FX drama series Trust, 2018. Dickinson has since starred in the films Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, 2019, The King's Man, 2021, Triangle of Sadness, 2022, Where the Crawdads Sing, 2022, The Iron Claw, 2023, and Babygirl, 2024, along with the miniseries A Murder at the End of the World, 2023. He has received nominations for 2 BAFTA awards. In 2025, Dickinson made his feature film directorial debut with Urchin, which premiered at the 2025 Cannes Film Festival and won him the FIPRC Prize. Early life. Dickinson was born 24 June 1996 in Whipps Cross University Hospital, East London 2-3 and grew up in Hyams Park. 4 At 17, he dropped out of school, where he was studying film and theatre. 3 Dickinson almost opted for a career in the Royal Marines, before being persuaded to return to the theatre by his coach at Raw Academy in London. 5. Career. 2010s. In 2016, Dickinson was cast as Frankie, a young man struggling with his sexuality, in Eliza Hittman's film Beach Rats. The Times critic Ed Potton highlighted Dickinson for having perfected a South Brooklyn accent as Frankie. 6. For his performance, Dickinson was nominated for the Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead and the Gotham Independent Film Award for Breakthrough Actor. 7. 8. In 2018, Dickinson starred in the FX drama television series Trust as John Paul Getty III. In 2019, he voiced the character Gurjan in the Netflix series The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. He also starred in The Darkest Minds. 2020s. Dickinson in 2023. In 2021, Dickinson starred in the 3rd installment of the Kingsman film series, The King's Man, as Conrad Oxford. The role gained him his first BAFTA Film Award nomination for the EE Rising Star Award. 9. In 2022, he starred in Triangle of Sadness as a model on a cruise. The film premiered at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival and won the Palme d'Or. 10-11 Reviewing the film, Variety's Peter de Brugge wrote Dickinson brings a kind of fragile vulnerability to the Abercrombie frat boy type. 12 Dickinson co-starred in Where the Crawdads Sing, a film adaptation of Delia Owen's novel of the same name, which was released in July 2022. 13. In 2023, he starred in the FX on Hulu limited series A Murder at the End of the World. 14 For his role in it, Dickinson was nominated for a British Academy Television Award for Best Supporting Actor. 15 He then starred in Scrapper as Jason, an estranged father who reconnects with his daughter. The film was written and directed by Charlotte Reagan, and premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival. 16-17 In the same year, he portrayed David Von Erich in the sports drama The Iron Claw, about the Von Erich family. David Ehrlich of IndieWire found the endlessly surprising Harris Dickinson to be warm and brilliant in his part. 18. The following year, he had a supporting role in the period drama film Blitz. 19-20 He then starred alongside Nicole Kidman in the erotic drama film Babygirl. 21 David Rooney of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, Dickinson's unforced intensity makes him a magnetic screen presence, adding that he hasn't exuded this much undiluted sexuality since Beach Rats. 22. In 2025, Dickinson made his feature-length directorial debut with Urchin. The film premiered at the 2025 Cannes Film Festival and won him the FIPRC Prize. 23, 24, 25 He has also been cast as John Lennon in Sam Mendes's 4-part biopic of the Beatles. On April 5, 2002, Kidman released through Interscope Records her 3rd single, a cover of Randy Crawford's One Day I'll Fly Away. 352 The song, a Tony Phillips remix, was promoted as the pilot single for the follow-up to the Moulin Rouge! Original soundtrack, titled Moulin Rouge! Volume 2. In 2006, she contributed to the original motion picture soundtrack of Happy Feet, recording a rendition of the Prince song Kiss for the film. 353 in 2009, she was featured on the original soundtrack of Rob Marshall's 2009 musical film 9, recording the song Unusual Way. 354 in 2012, she narrated an audiobook, and in 2017, she contributed with background vocals to her husband's, country music singer Keith Urban, song titled Female. 356 in 2022, Kidman joined Luke Evans to release a cover of Say Something, originally performed by A Great Big World and Christina Aguilera. Babygirl is a 2024 American erotic thriller film written, directed, and produced by Helena Ridgen. The film stars Nicole Kidman as a high-powered CEO who puts her career and family on the line when she begins an affair with a much younger intern, Harris Dickinson. Sophie Wilde and Antonio Banderas also star. Babygirl premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on August 30, 2024, where Kidman won the Volpe Cup for Best Actress 9, followed by a premiere at the 2024 Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2024, with a wide theatrical release by A24 on December 25, 2024. It received positive reviews and became a box office success, grossing $64.6 million on a $20 million budget. It was named one of the top 10 films of 2024 by the National Board of Review, where Kidman was also awarded the Best Actress prize. Plot: Romy Mathis, the CEO of a robotic process automation company in New York City, is dissatisfied with her sex life with her husband, theater director Jacob. On the way to work one day, she is almost attacked by a loose dog until a young man calms it down and returns it to its owner. He turns out to be Samuel, an intern at Romy's company who picks her as his mentor through the company's mentorship program. Samuel propositions Romy during a private meeting. She initially objects, but gives in and kisses him. Conflicted about the incident, the two later meet at a hotel. Romy expresses concern that she may be taking advantage of Samuel due to their power imbalance, but Samuel retorts that he is the one with the power, as he could get her fired with one phone call. The two have a sexual encounter with Samuel playing the role of a dominant partner, resulting in Romy having an intense orgasm, after which she sobs with deep conflict about her enjoyment of this experience. The two continue to meet at multiple rendezvous, their sexual affair gaining considerable intensity. Samuel continues to push boundaries. In one instance, he appears at Romy and Jacob's country home, ingratiating himself with the entire family under the pretense of returning a laptop Romy left at the office. Feeling disrespected, Romy lashes out at Samuel and orders him to never show up at her home again. In the ensuing argument, Samuel threatens to request a transfer to a different department, which Romy objects to, fearing she will be questioned about her role in his transfer request. As her stress continues to build, Romy eventually admits to Jacob that she has never experienced an orgasm with him. Desperate, Romy meets with Samuel to convince him to continue their affair. He agrees after she confirms her submission to him. Soon afterward, Samuel appears at her house uninvited again for her daughter's birthday party, having been brought by Esme, Romy's executive assistant who he is dating. Esme informs Romy that she knows about her affair with Samuel and implores her to end it, as she is one of the few high-ranking women in the company and needs to remain a respectable role model. Romy later confesses the affair to Jacob, but is dishonest about the nature of her and Samuel's relationship, instead describing it as a one-night stand with a stranger. She attempts to express her sexual needs to Jacob, but he is too distraught over her infidelity to listen. She retreats to their country house, where Jacob later arrives to find her talking with Samuel. A fight breaks out between Jacob and Samuel. After the fight winds down, Jacob says that female masochism is a mere neurosis or male construct, but Samuel calls this a dated idea, causing Jacob to suffer a panic attack. Samuel calms Jacob down with an embrace, then leaves. Encouraged by her teenage daughter Isabel, Romy decides to reconcile with Jacob. a board member informs Romy that Samuel has taken a new job in Japan. He asks if she had anything to do with Samuel leaving, implying that he knows about the affair, and invites her to his house. Disgusted, Romy firmly states that she is unafraid of him and orders him out. A while later, Romy and Jacob have rekindled their romance and sex life. At home, they reenact the type of rough sex that Samuel introduced to Romy, and she climaxes while imagining Samuel playing with the dog in the hotel room that both Romy and Samuel shared earlier in the film. Cast: Nicole Kidman as Romy Mathis, a CEO, Jacob's wife, Isabel, and Nora's mother, and Samuel's employer and lover. 10. Harris Dickinson as Samuel, Romy's intern and lover. 10. Antonio Banderas as Jacob Mathis, a theater director, Romy's husband, and Isabel and Nora's father. 10. Sophie Wilde as Esme Smith, Romy's assistant. 10. Esther McGregor as Isabel Mathis, Romy, and Jacob's daughter, and Nora's older sister. Vaughn Riley as Nora Mathis, Romy, and Jacob's daughter, and Isabel's younger sister. 11. Victor Slezak as Sebastian Missel, a board member. 11. Leslie Silva as Hazel, an executive. Gate Jansen as Hedda/Scarlett. Robert Farrier as Brack/Stephen. Bartley Booz as Tom. Anoop Desai as Robert. 11. Dolly Wells as therapist. Maxwell Whittington Cooper as Josh. 11. Production. Development. It was announced in November 2023 that David Hinojosa of 2AM was going to produce the project alongside Helena Ridgen of Man Up Films, with A24 financing the project. 12-13 Julia O, Zach Nutman, and Christine D'Souza Gelb of 2AM served as executive producers. 14 It was later revealed that Julia O would take on the producer role, contrary to earlier reports that she would serve as an executive producer. 15 In addition to her role as producer, Helena Ridgen directed the film from a screenplay she wrote. 16-17 The project marked Ridgen's second English-language feature film, both produced by A24. 18-19 The original plan was to make a summer movie, however, it was changed to Christmas due to the impact of the 2023 UGA strike and 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike on the film's schedule. 2021 The film's workplace dynamics were influenced by cinematic elements from Indecent Proposal and Basic Instinct. 22-23 The affair in the film was set in an American workplace because the stricter hierarchy and rules in the US compared to Europe was felt by the filmmaker to make such a relationship feel even more forbidden and taboo. 24. Ridgen was inspired to write the script after hearing about a woman who had never experienced an orgasm throughout her 25-year marriage. 25 She added that her interest in exploring women's relationships with their bodies was a key motivator for making this movie. 26-27 She also credited her passion for the erotic thrillers of the 1980s and 1990s, particularly those by directors Paul Verhoeven and Adrian Lyne, as the inspirational driving force behind her decision to make this film. 28-29 Lizzie Talbot was hired as the intimacy coordinator. 30. The film features a significant 24-year age gap between its lead characters, with Romy written as 49 and Samuel as 25. Interestingly, the real-life age difference between Nicole Kidman, 56 during filming, and Harris Dickinson, 27, was even greater. 31 Ridgen emphasized the importance of normalizing age gaps in relationships, particularly when women are the older partners, stating, "It should completely be normalized that the age gaps switch and that women have different relationships. We're not trapped in a box anymore." 32. Dickinson noted that the limited pre-filming interaction between him and Kidman ultimately benefited the project, as it allowed them to build trust and work together with kindness, enhancing the authenticity of their on-screen dynamic. 33. Kidman and Ridgen built a strong bond while preparing for the film in New York, fostering trust and openness. They worked closely, revising scenes and sharing personal stories, creating a collaborative, intimate environment. Kidman credits Ridge's supportive approach for helping her embrace the emotional and physical vulnerability required for the role. 34. Casting. In November 2023, Kidman, Dickinson, Antonio Banderas, Sophie Wilde, and Jean Reno were announced as part of the cast. 36 other cast members included John Cena Diempo, Vaughn Riley, Victor Slezak, Anoop Desai, and Maxwell Whittington Cooper. 11 Esther McGregor was reported to star. 37. Filming. Principal photography began in December 2023 in New York City 3839 and wrapped in February 2024. 40. Music. Further information, Babygirl, soundtrack. On December 2, 2024, Sky Ferreira announced the release of Leash, a song written and co-produced by her for the soundtrack of the film. 41. The film score was composed by Cristobal Tapia de Veer and was released digitally on December 25, 2024, through A24 Music. 42-43. The film features INXS's 1988 single Never Tear Us Apart. A24 struggled to secure the rights to the track, which Ridge complained about to Kidman, who personally secured the rights within a couple of days. 44. Release. Theatrical. Writer and director Helena Ridge during the presentation of the film at the Venice International Film Festival. Babygirl premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on August 30, 2024. 45, 46, 47. Following this, it was also premiered at the 49th Toronto International Film Festival on September 10, 2024. 48. The film was initially set for a release in the United States and Canada on December 20, 2024. 49. But the date was later shifted to December 25, 2024, for its theatrical debut. 50-51. Home media. Babygirl was released in the United States on VOD on January 28, 2025. 52-53. The film was released on Max on April 25, 2025. 54. The movie was released on Blu-ray and 4K from May 24 on March 18, 2025. 55. Reception. Box office. Babygirl has grossed $28.1 million in the United States and Canada, and $36.4 million in other territories, for a total of $64.6 million worldwide. 7-8. The film's break-even point was reported around $50 million. 5. In the United States and Canada, Babygirl was released alongside Nosferatu, A Complete Unknown,